Because there were thousands of objections. Well, somebody didn't have a school certificate. Well, who gave a school certificate at that point in time? Then you had to show, no, my great-grandfather lived in that village. Then there had to be a linkage document. Then you had to produce somebody from a nearby village or the village in which you lived, and he came and made a statement, no, his grandfather was living there. So, Malaj, it may be as a matter of law for you to say that's not factually correct. Well, the whole NRC exercise was that all this may be wrong.
That on the one hand, we don't have an open border.
Yes.
We do not say that anybody from Bangladesh can come and settle down wherever they want in India. At the same time, if we don't take action to curb illegal migration, then it causes all these problems in India. The feeling in India that, look, the infrastructure is limited.
Absolutely.
Education is limited.
Absolutely.
Public hospitals are limited. We can't allow for an unlimited influx.
Absolutely. No, you're right. And this is the problem.
Therefore, we passed that order, which we did this afternoon. What are you doing today?
It's the executive that is to blame, Malaj. There's no doubt about it. And right from 85. And we create problems for ourselves. And then what happens is, Malaj, it becomes the other versus us. This is the heart of the problem. It is no longer a cultural issue. It's a political issue. Others versus us. Who gets power? Why do you give them electoral rights? This is the problem. Don't give them the right to vote. So therefore, you, in the process, are creating divisions in society, whereas your preamble talks about fraternity. Now, what is fraternity, Malaj? Live and let live is Article 21. Be and let be is secularism. That's what it is. And that's fraternity. And the entire argument on the other side is countering the concept of fraternity in the preamble.
So, Sibal, how do you, this is not a question in the sense to tell you that you're wrong on this point, but just a little assistance. How do we sort of conceptualize subsection 2 of section 6A and subsection 3?
All right.
Subsection 2 deals with people who are in the electoral roll as on 1/1/1966.
Right.
They're all post-1951 people,
right,
but who are in the electoral roll as of 1/1/66. Right. That's why subsection 2 refers to the electoral roll of 1/1/66, 66 electoral roll.
Right.
The subsection 3 covers people who are not in the electoral roll of 1966.
Correct.
They came in later until 71.
Correct.
So what was the reason for protecting those whom they protected first in subsection 2? Was it that Parliament wanted to protect people who are now they've come on the electoral roll as on 1/1/66? So we say, all right, you have now been assimilated. We have already, whether you are legal, illegal, we sort of make a blanket conferment of citizenship. What was why these two bifurcations into subsection 2 and subsection 3?
I will try and answer that, Malaj. There are two reasons for it. Number one, even those whose names were in the electoral roll, people objected to them. People objected to them, saying they got themselves into the electoral roll. They did not come here prior to 1966. That's why the whole NRC exercise has taken place. And at the end of the NRC exercise, do you know what the result is? Your Lordship asked that question, they should have told you the answer. The answer is, today there are 19.06 lakh people who are left out of and whose appeals are pending. That's all. And the majority of them are Hindus. So it's not as if nothing happened after 71. This exercise has been done in 8 years, Malaj. Malaj, that's why Justice Gogoi said, everybody will have to produce the legacy tree, legacy data. Who was your great-grandfather? Even those whose names were on the electoral roll. So in the NRC, every citizen, every person in Assam had to face the test. So in fact, from a statutory standpoint, what my lord is saying is right. From the actual standpoint, it's just the other way around. Because there were thousands of objections. Well, somebody didn't have a school certificate. Well, who gave a school certificate at that point in time? Then you had to show, no, my great-grandfather lived in that village. Then there had to be a linkage document. Then you had to produce somebody from a nearby village or the village in which you lived, and he came and made a statement, no, 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 his grandfather was living there. So, Malaj, it may be as a matter of law for you to say that's not factually correct. Well, the whole NRC exercise was that all this may be wrong. And it was monitored by this court. And it ultimately found that the majority of the 19 lakhs were Hindus. 1,600 crores was spent in that exercise. So the point that I'm making is, Malaj, while your lordships asked me that question, the factual situation is in fact just the opposite. Because I don't want to bring any politics into it, because everybody objected to a particular, that he doesn't belong here. Of course, that exercise is still going on. But Malaj, therefore, it would be dangerous, and this is my respectful submission, to move into areas where it's difficult to come to a judicial determination. That's why 6A was a matter of policy. It was legislative policy pursuant to a political accord which sought to maintain a status quo subject to processes for those who came between 66 and 71. Yes. And if they do not formulate how 29 has been violated, why would your lordships go into it? So, but that's really the answer to your lordship's question. That everybody was questioned. It just so happened that once you're on the electoral roll, then you have a leg to stand on. But that was not the end of the story. It's not as if everybody who was on the electoral roll was accepted as a citizen. And then, Malaj, the argument that they owed allegiance to Pakistan, I don't understand that argument at all, Malaj. When I am born, Malaj, do I have an oath of allegiance to give? Or if somebody is granted citizenship? Well, people don't give oath of allegiance. When people came from what?
See, the upheaval, actually, as a matter of history, when did the upheaval start taking place in East Pakistan?
Upheaval started taking place in East.
No. The 66, I'm talking about the leading up to Bangladesh.
Lordship knows, after the Bhutto election in particular, but the fact of the matter is that those belonged to an entirely different cultural tradition. This was all part of Bengal, Malaj. This is East Bengal and West Bengal.